At the time for business, and Sandra Fenu is here. Hello, Sandra.
Hi, Israel.
We're talking about the drop in inflation.
Exactly, but before
we fall of some sort.
Yes, before we do that, you know, yesterday Ghana and Ivory Coast had proposed a suspension of the sale of cocoa beans to the international market. It was just a proposal, but today we understand that they have actually suspended that.
All right.
And so it's good news for farmers.
It is because of the price. It's because they're looking for
good price for farmers and the economy as well. All right, good evening. My name is Sandra Esinam App, and we'll be doing that cocoa story. But first, the inflation rate for the month of May recorded a reduction to 9.4% from 9.5% in April. Deputy Government Statistician David Combat attributed the change to a declining rate of food inflation in the measuring basket.
The Statistical Service says the fall in inflation rates of the food and non-alcoholic beverage group was due to the fall in the inflation rate recorded for vegetables, fish and seafood and meat products. The vegetables subgroup recorded the highest fall in the rate among the subgroups of the food and non-alcoholic beverage group. Deputy Government Statistician David Combat has been explaining.
So you see that for the food group, you have usual coffee, tea and cocoa, fruits and vegetables. You know, usually during the rainy season, you tend to have more of this coming to the market, and their sellers are usually compelled to, you know, to reduce their prices in order to be competitive. So I see that vegetables is contributing to this drop. In addition to the non-food, what we are seeing in the non-food inflation rate.
The non-food group, however, recorded a rate of inflation of 10.6% in May 2019. That was a 0.2% rate higher compared to 10.4% recorded in April 2019. The Upper West region recorded the highest general inflation of 11.1%, whilst the Ashanti region had the highest rate in food inflation.
4 regions, Upper West, Brown Ahafo, Western and Ashanti, recorded inflation rates that were above the national average of 9.4%. And remember that we are reporting only for the old regions. We have not taken the new regions on board yet.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Statistical Service says it is working on including the 6 new regions in the calculation of inflation.
Global leaders in the production of cocoa beans, that's Ghana and Ivory Coast, have officially suspended the sale of cocoa beans for the 2020-2021 crop season. This is to pave way for full implementation of the just ended agreed $2,600 floor price for cocoa beans, which has been agreed upon by global processors. That's more in the following report.
Ghana and Ivory Coast have succeeded in getting an agreement with global processors and marketers for the floor price of cocoa beans to be pegged at $2,600 per ton. This follows an intensive 2-day stakeholder engagement which had ended in a snag on the first day. To this end, the 2 major cocoa producers, Ghana and Ivory Coast, have agreed to suspend sale of the 2020 and 2021 cocoa beans to pave way for the implementation of the floor price. Joseph Boahin Edu is Chief Executive of Cocoa Board.
Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana have suspended the sales of the 2020-2021 crop, that is, beans, until further notice, in preparation for the implementation of the floor price.
Both economists and the global players are to meet on July 3 for the full implementation of this deal. Speaking at a press engagement, Chief Executive of Cocoa Board, Joseph Boahin Edu, explained that all global players in the value chain have decided to join the efforts to alleviate the suffering of cocoa farmers.
Processors, manufacturers, and traders requested for a technical meeting to fine-tune the mechanism for the implementation of this floor price of $2,600 per ton.
Meanwhile, global partners have called for a fine-tuning of the proposal on July 3. This is when the technical team meets to ensure full implementation of the floor price on the global cocoa market. Earlier, the Vice President urged stakeholders in the cocoa value chain, including trade houses, cocoa processors and chocolate manufacturers, to join government of Ghana and Ivory Coast to address the high income disparity between farmers and the end users of cocoa products.
The wealth distribution is uneven along the supply chain. Poverty levels among cocoa farmers, who are at the root of both the supply and value chain.
The fixed minimum price, or the floor price, is to help farmers, who are the backbone of the cocoa industry, earn reasonable income levels.
Mining firms and manufacturing companies may be experiencing some downward adjustments in power tariffs soon if expected negotiations go well as planned. This is according to Deputy Minister of Energy Mohammed Amin Adams, who was speaking at the opening of an ongoing Ghana Mining and Energy Summit in Accra. Ebenezer Sabote has been at the opening session and has filed this report.
The issue of power tariffs continues to be a major challenge for industries, including mining firms in the country, despite commitment by governments to end the intermittent supply. This year's Mining and Energy Summit is geared towards finding a solution to some of the challenges in the mining sector, as well as harnessing opportunities in the sector. Deputy Minister of Energy, Dr. Amin Adam, speaking on behalf of the Minister, Peter Amewu, assured that government has opened discussions with the various power producers to look out for lower tariffs for industries, including the mining firms.
The ministry has been implementing interventions in the energy sector designed to mitigate cost and ensure efficiency. These interventions include renegotiation of power purchase agreements on cost of generation. And I have to say that the Honorable Minister is not here because he's chairing a committee that is negotiating with the IPPs to bring the cost of generation down. We are also recalibrating domestic gas prices.
He cautioned that the recent view of prices of marine fuels is likely to affect mining activities.
We are also now going to use LNG through the Gensa plant to fire your operations. LNG will be shipped into Ghana. And so the shipping industry generally is going to be affected, and all those who depend on it will also be negatively affected. Because analysts and experts have said that the price of marine fuel is going to increase significantly. And I'd like to caution you that while you are strategizing to improve on your efficiency, you should not forget that additional cost is rearing its ugly head in front of you.
On his part, President of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Eric Asubonten, assured government of a close collaboration to ensure the country derives the best from the sector.
If you look at or you go through the presentations that were given throughout, there's a very common thread you can detect in the messaging that came out, both from Goldfields, AngloGold Ashanti, as well as Newmont. And it's the fact that all of them, or all of these companies, are looking at growth projects in Ghana. It is a testament to the confidence that the industry has in the jurisdiction of Ghana.
The summit is expected to end with a business-to-business engagement on Thursday.
That's all for business for now with me, Sandra Esinam. But when I come back after 8 p.m., we will be having a conversation on the mining sector.